I'm ready. Hi guys, we have Glenn joining.
I was told I'd be the masculinity correspondent, but feel free to call me Glenn as well.
The assistant.
You're my assistant. Let's get it really clear. You have one job and one job only.
Eve's nickname is the assistant. Mine's Glenny. And then our other friend is Glenjamin.
Calls you Glenjamin. Where did Glenjamin start from? I have no idea.
I don't know where that came from.
Oh, that's been a thing since I was like 10. Everyone comes up with it on their own at some point.
I don't think I've ever called you Glenjamin. I like Glenny. I'm cool with Glenny. Glenjamin feels... Okay, so we have some questions we'd like to start off strong with. We call this category Why Do Men? And you just don't think too hard about it. This is more like a just, go for it. You know the list I'm on, Brit. So if you want to pipe in, we're on the same one. Why, and I'm not going to give you any provocation here. You just have to go with what your heart says. Why do men specifically, why do men suck at multitasking?
Okay, so wait, I'm going to start kind of giving a caveat here. I'm not going to be able to speak for all men. I don't know how to explain them. I'm going to speak for myself as a somewhat, hopefully normal, well-adjusted man to hopefully give a perspective. And
well-adjusted feels a little bold, but continue on.
And we're just bringing Glenn on. We just want to kind of get a man's perspective, and we feel like a lot of girls or women can relate. And so we kind of have a male point of view on some things that we like to sit here and banter over.
Yeah. So hopefully I give a unique perspective.
Going hard.
Go ahead. All right. So why do we suck at multitasking? Ooh, good question. I suck at it because this is gonna sound so lame, but I'm a perfectionist. I want to do stuff right. So I spend too much time thinking about the one thing I want to do at that time. So that's why I personally am not good at multitasking, and can't speak for everybody.
Why do men still think maps and flags are art decor after college?
Ooh, I think men deep down like maps. I like maps. I love maps. I always use them.
Hanging on a wall, that's weird.
That's the thing, is it's because we like it. I just want to look at it. Same with a flag. I like looking at flags. I like knowing what countries or what flags. It's interesting.
Do you know anything weird that girls have in their home that you've seen in multiple girls' homes, and you're kind of why does everything?
Oh, good call.
I mean the cliche Target live laugh love shit, anything like that. The cliche thing that everyone just buys. It's at the front of the store. I mean, stuffed animals.
Well, that's weird.
Oh, wait, have you? Yeah, how many girls have you been with that have had stuffed animals?
Girl, I think that
nothing lately, but that's an example. Not calling it an example.
Okay, one time, and he had Winnie the Pooh and weird shit sitting on his piano or something, and I was like, "What is that from?" He's like, "Oh, I got it in a trip." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're 40 years old. Why do you have Winnie the Pooh stuffed animal in your living room?" You guys.
What is it with, and explain this one to me because this one baffles me as well. Why do guys give forehead kisses?
If they don't mean it.
Well, no, I just want to know why they do it to begin with. What's the inclination? And then the follow-up is if they don't mean it. Because I don't even know what they mean by it, theoretically.
I think it's because that's the level we're at. Our lips are at your forehead usually. Actually, seriously, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it's much deeper than that. And it's I don't know, it's you get them when you're a kid or something. It's a sign of love or something. And so it's easy and it's right at the same level.
Okay, I got
I don't know. I've never not meant it, so I don't know. I can't answer that one.
So it's not as deep as girls make it out to be.
I can't imagine how that would be deep. I don't know.
Well, because girls think that's cute and romantic, right? If a guy forehead kisses you, you don't. I've always thought if a guy forehead kisses you, it was more romantic than romantic than making out.
With my track record, y'all know I haven't seen romance in a while, so let's be honest. All right.
So the forehead kisses up or down lately?
What?
Are the forehead kisses up or down lately?
Oh God,
haven't even kissed anyone lately. I'll be honest. We started the year off strong, but we're on a steady, slow decline. All right. Okay. How come guys take you on dates and give girlfriend treatment, tell you they had a great time, but then they disappear?
Okay, I think guys have a certain playbook that they know works. And I think, the date playbook, they know how to do it because they've done it a bunch of times. They've workshopped it. They know how to put off the best impression of themselves, and so they're going to do that. And then they're going to decide after the fact, if they're interested, if they want to pursue, but they're they're not gonna like half-ass it, if that makes sense. They're gonna like try to do what they know how to do and try to be liked, try to impress, and then figure it out after that.
Figure it out. Do you believe in box theory? Like, do you think that guys meet a girl and they put them in one of 3 boxes? And just to clarify what box theory is, it's like you're either dating, wife material, you're in the hookup box, or you're in the date box. But you can't be like one or the other.
It's one or the other. It's you're either in the hookup box or you're in the date box.
And then there's one where it was like wife material, right?
No, like friend zone.
Oh, friend zone. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're like that when a guy meets you within like 5 minutes of meeting you, or like very quickly thereof, he's put you in one of 3 boxes. He's either said like she would be a friend, like she'd be a homie, I'd date her, or like I'd only fuck her.
You'd only hook up with her. You think that's a true theory?
I've never heard it, but when you explain it, I think there's a lot of truth to it. I think you can move from one to the other. I don't think it's like in any way, any direction from any of them, I think. But I do kind of think there's truth to it now that I think about it.
Because the theory is that you can move from the date box to the hookup box, let me rephrase. The theory is that like if you're in the date box, you can do anything and it doesn't matter. Like you could throw up in the guy's bed, it doesn't matter. He's put you in the date box, you're good. But if you're in the hookup box, like they hold you to like a higher standard to move you out of that box because they've put you in the hookup box.
I don't know about that. I think you can move up. You can move out of the hookup box to the date box. I think that's pretty normal.
Interesting.
That. And then as far as going the other, I think you don't go down necessarily, but you can go up.
That makes sense.
Do you think you can leave the friend zone? Like if a guy puts you in the friend zone, can you leave the friend zone? And obviously there are exceptions to the rule, but do you think it happens like regularly?
That one's a little tougher, I think. If I'm being honest. Was I in the
friend zone?
No, you were not. You were the top tier. You were the date tier. That's like the creme de la creme.
Oh, by the way, we're dating, guys.
Oh yeah, this is Eve's boyfriend that we chat about.
Rather than like really like lead with that, we just like bam.
Yeah.
Masculinity correspondent.
Mm-hmm.
This is my masculinity correspondent, aka assistant. He answers all questions for men.
Okay.
Have you ever ghosted somebody?
Glenn,
yeah.
Now that you have a girlfriend and you've had to hang out with her and her friends a whole lot. I mean, you have blackmail that could go to the ends of the earth, like the stories that you've heard in the last 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, I'm writing it all down. It's gonna be in a book at some point.
Like the knowledge and information that this man has heard from everyone is crazy, and he still hangs out with us. But
good thing you guys are running for president because crush all of you.
Do you think girls have dirtier minds than guys?
Minds? Yes, actually. I think they do.
Why?
That is a good question. I think just the way you guys talk, it's way more, it's been normalized. You guys are so extra and over the top with everything that it's been normalized to think that way. Whereas guys, if we're getting deeper, they're, you're taught to like not objectify and all that. And so over time, as we get older, we kind of, we make it a point to not do that. But girls kind of zag and go the other direction and overcorrect the other way. And so, the shit I hear from girls is like 100 times what guys talk about.
Yeah.
We get that out of our system when we're like 12 or 13. And then when we're like in our 20s, we're over it and we're like, we
not going like
that way.
That's kind of like, to your point, that's because society has kind of told women that sexuality or sex rather is not for pleasure, or we've been taught that, right? And so as we get older is when we first realize that it could be for pleasure. And we're having conversations now with our girlfriends that we were never having at 12 and 13.
That could be it. I mean, guys, we started talking about that 11, 12, 13, right around when the first person's older brother introduced everyone to porn. And then, that's kind of, we get that out of our systems when we're young. And then hopefully we outgrow it when we're like early 20s.
Do you think porn is bad, good, indifferent? What are your thoughts on it?
It can be all of the above.
Elaborate.
It's how most men learn about sex, I would say.
Do you think that makes a false sense of what they expect then, since they like learn from that? Because obviously that's not how it is. all the time.
What are you talking about? I'm a porn star, Brittany. What are you talking about?
No, that's true. It does. That's what I'm saying. It could go a number of different directions. People could become addicted to it, obsessed with it, think it's one way, expect that, and expect wild shit out of their partners because of what they saw and have seen over and over again. I guess maybe it's a net negative if we're looking at it that way, but it's also, in a weird way, it's going to be the weirdest word to use for this, but it's like educational in a way.
I think it's way more educational for men than women, if I'm being honest.
Probably fair.
Because I feel like women are so performative in porn that it doesn't really, I mean, maybe, yeah. What'd you say?
It's probably not really benefiting them. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it benefits women as much as it benefits men in terms of education purposes. Question on this note, because I know you're not, but I'm curious, why do you think it is? Because I struggled with this prior to dating you. Dating men had issues with the fact that I potentially, and I don't know all their incomes, made more money than them, had a higher education than them, had like more of a quote unquote like career or whatever. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's just ingrained in like masculine, feminine roles? Like, do you think it still exists? Do you think it's a stereotype? Like, what are your thoughts on any of that?
It exists for sure. It can be for a few different reasons. One is just a guy's insecurity, just himself, with not being where he's at, not making, the money he wants, and then a girl making more than him and kind of overpowering him and taking on the more masculine role. Or not masculine, but the power dynamic. But it could also be a perception thing to outsiders. Like, they could be self-conscious about how other people are seeing that, which that might be
okay with being a stay-at-home dad.
This is not a targeted question, by the way. I'm
Yeah.
not asking for this.
I'm asking because I've heard like men, it's like, becoming a little more normal. I don't know if I'm personally okay with that, to be honest. I remember my ex tried to do that and I was like, absolutely not. But
well, he also just wanted to smoke pot on the couch.
Yeah.
Which is a little
it's like definitely
stay-at-home dad or like pothead. Like,
not like giving me the world and then also not working.
I don't know. I mean, if I could retire early and do something like that, that'd be one thing.
That's
it would be weird. It's not something I'm not necessarily wired that way, but I don't I don't see a huge problem with it. I just would probably get bored and need to do other things.
Do you think that there's would it be difficult for you to be with a woman who did not want a career? Like, for example, if I said, I don't want a career, I want to stay at home and I expect you to provide and I'm not going to work. Would that be hard for you?
Not really, because that's like what I'm used to from how I grew up and everything. So,
it would be weird if I said that though. Like, how does that, I mean, because I feel like if I said that to you, that would be me being like, okay, great, you provide for me. Like, bye. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, how does that translate in real life?
I mean, there's a way to do it where like the woman takes on like the, caregiver, household, the leader of the household, etc., like, which can be like a full-time job if you make it one. There's a way to do that. And then the man provides financially. I don't have like a huge issue with that because that's how I grew up. But there depends on the woman's intent and what's behind it on their end. I mean, if that's just genuinely what it is, it's a partnership in that regard. That's fine. It doesn't have to be equal in like a working and financial way. But if there's like a laziness, like, I just want you to work for me.
On the couch all day. She's just going.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem, and that's probably pretty common, or can be.
It's out there, you know what I mean? Like, some men are, it's like they don't mind that, but I don't think this, you got to worry about this one. She'd be running businesses from that couch.
And then, by the way, I got a side hustle and another one and a couple more.
5 side hustles and I have 5 websites up in 5 hours. So just so you know, this girl made a today. Like,
I don't even know how to make a website.
Was that bad? Was it bad?
It was
good. It was good. I wouldn't even be able to do that.
Okay, I have a couple of questions for you, Glenn, to kind of touch on like what you've listened to, like having 3 girlfriends in like the last 5 months. Like,
Brittany's one of the girlfriends. I'm the other one. The third.
Some of like the stories, or even like you've seen some like sentimental things. You've seen some of us go through some stuff. Like, do you have like a newfound, like, do you like see it a little bit and ever like kind of feel you like kind of get what girls deal with now? Not saying that men don't deal with hard stuff too, but like, do you have like a new like sentiment kind of like respect in a way? Cause like you listen to what it's like and like what we've talked about ever. Has that changed for you? It's like opened your eyes, or no? Is it kind of like, did you always kind of know like girls like deal with this shit that you've
No,
heard?
I always knew. I always knew. None of this is like surprising to me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You know, it's different when like you see someone you know going through it, but like I don't necessarily need to see it happen to someone I know for it to like resonate. I kind of understood that for a long time.
It's kind of like blind to it, you know.
What do you think, comparative wise, what do you think is the hardest thing in this day and age right now with the dating apps, with us being in our 30s, with us being in a big city, with there being the grass is greener, lots of options? What do you think is the hardest thing for men currently dating, and then comparatively the hardest thing for women?
That's a good question.
I think
I'm drinking Kool-Aid.
I'm drinking wine. I don't know why y'all bitches are sober.
I was so excited to come home and drink a Modelo, and I opened my fridge and I realized I took them all to the beach and finished them. So I'm drinking a LaCroix.
No dollars. That's fine. I'll be the
I'm
only
so
one
upset.
Okay.
The hardest thing. All right, I think dating app culture created a.
No. Separated by man and woman.
Yeah, I'm getting there. So I don't know. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to separate. It might be the same. I don't know.
Wait,
no, it's created like a callousness almost. Like it's decreased like personability where you're reducing people to profiles and there's no accountability and there's no like humanity to it. So you're going through lots of people. You don't have to be responsible or accountable for any of your actions. You can just ghost, or you can say some out of pocket stuff and delete your account or whatever. There's no face-to-face accountability. It makes people jaded where they're just kind of playing a numbers game. They don't care about any one person. They just have to kind of go through the motions, and it gets frustrating. I think everyone kind of gets lost in the shuffle. People miss each other or whatever because there's no focus on any one person or any few people. It's a completely quantity over quality game, and that goes both directions. And I think neither side is helped by it, but like you have to do it to survive. So it's this kind of weird cycle. That
if you take the dating app part out of it, right? Like just dating. Let's just say dating baseline. What do you think is the biggest struggle for men, and what do you think is the biggest struggle for women outside of like all the problems that dating apps cause?
Sure. I don't know that there's a problem that you can separate from dating apps. I think maybe
what I think my opinion is, and then maybe you can riff off that. So I think that as society has given women more opportunities in the workplace, more like where the glass ceiling is being pushed, whatever the colloquialism is, right? As we're getting more opportunities and we're getting more freedoms, like we're there, but society isn't reinforcing that. And so still when we come home, we're expected to put a meal on the table. Still when we come home, we're expected to be dolled up, going to the Pilates, getting the lasers, all of these things. So it's almost like we've got our plates doubly full, and inevitably we can't do it all, right? We're expected to be a mom, but like it's like the more opportunities we're given in the workplace, which is great, the more we get to expand in that way. But we don't lose any of the responsibilities we had before. We're still expected to be, a 10, take care of our kids, put the dinner on the table, etc. So we're stretched thin. And when we're dating, I find that what my biggest struggle was having a man take on some of that like responsibility that was typically considered like the woman's. Cause like as I'm increasing in my career, I do want a man who's like, okay, can cook dinner every now and again and whatever. And I'm not saying this at you obviously because you have this, but in general, a man who is not mad at maybe sometimes he has to leave work early to pick up the kids from daycare, etc. because I'm getting more growth and opportunities in the workplace, right? And I found a lot of men were hesitant to that and had some issues with that because society hasn't told them that that's okay, that it doesn't make them weak. That's what I found was my biggest struggle. What I see is men's biggest struggle in the dating climate now is they feel like they're being taken advantage of. They feel like it's become so transactional that, as you've said to me before, a woman can go on 5 dates a week, 5 first dates. She's not paying for any of them. She has nothing to lose. A man, if we're playing a numbers game, is spending excessive amounts of money, especially if he wants to like play the role of the gentleman, whatever, on a first, second, third date. And it becomes very transactional and they can be taken advantage of. And those two things I've found society is not caught up to like society's thinking has not caught up to where we practically should be.
Okay. That's interesting. That's your perspective from the female side, and I'm trying to think of the equivalent on the male side. I mean, I think there's definitely more pressure to make more money these days, just with just the nature of the world and inflation and just cost of living. So there's a pressure there. There's a pressure
for you to make more money, or pressure to like as a family make more money.
Just both, just as a person, as a just to have a certain quality of life. Just to have the quality of life you want, you have to work
on the woman at all. Or could you put I guess what I'm getting at is like, instead of it being like, I'm the man, I need to make $200,000 to be able to take care of this family, could you see it as, I'm the man, I'm going to make 150, but my wife's now also going to make 150, so we're crushing that, but maybe I pick up my kid from daycare a couple of days and I'm not C-suite in 10 years because A, that's an outdated trajectory. I'm going to change positions. And B, she can pick up some of this monetary burden, but that requires me to then give her some freedom.
Yeah, I mean, I've never known anyone that had issues with that. So that's foreign to me. I was talking more in the dating scene as like if a single person is dating and like their time and their bandwidth. There's a lot of things now that they have on their plate, which is to work a certain amount to have a certain quality of life, live in a certain place you want to live. There's a emphasis now on like fitness in the last, whatever you want to say, 5-10 years, where guys everyone's got to look good. Everyone's working out. Everyone's eating clean. That takes time and effort. And so people are
in all areas.
Exactly. Yeah. So people put focus on that. So then, dating can be more of a chore and, exhausting for some people. And the thing you were saying about, people getting drained financially for going on dates, I mean, that I think that's attributable like directly to dating apps, in my opinion, because you're making it's an oversaturation of dating opportunities where you can set up 5 dates in a week and then, go on a bunch and then, go on a lot of first dates. People pre-dating apps weren't going on this many first dates. They're going on like 5% or 10% of them, Yeah. So it's hard to separate the two today.
Do you feel like the amount of money that guys spend to take girls out on dates is equivalent to what girls spend to maintain their appearance? And it could probably kind of almost equal out to be about the same if you really tallied it up.
No, yeah, for sure. I don't have any.
Because sometimes girls will make jokes like he's not worth the face, in the sense of like
the makeup.
Have to face and makeup, like he's not even worth going out with like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, I get that completely. I agree. I'm thinking more of like somebody who's like goes on a first date, spends $200 and then the girl like ghosts him, and then then he does it again 2 days later, then it doesn't go anywhere, and then he does it again 2 days later and it's not going anywhere. Like that's piling up, right? And so that someone like in that position is gonna probably get jaded, get frustrated.
But is that guy, because we know him, we know guys like this, is that guy leading with money and not substance?
I mean, it could be any reason, right?
I'm just putting it out there. I'm just saying I find that society has led men to lead with money because they want to appear as providers, right? And so they often make a big fanfare about, I've got the bill, we're going to this nice place. And it's like, okay, cool, but like, who are you? Right? And like, if you're leading with money, that is to me a turn off. Like,
no, that's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about like someone who just spends proportional to what they have. Like they go on a date, it's $80 total, whatever it is. It's the concept of like, because everyone talks about like the idea of like whether a guy should pay or not and everything. And like, I'm old school and I think you should as a guy, but in playing devil's advocate and trying to put myself in the shoes of somebody who wouldn't want to. That's what I think about. I think about somebody who's just going on first dates constantly and just getting cleaned out because he's like trying, but it's, the girls don't like him or whatever, doesn't work. And it's, you do that twice a week, 3 times a week, etc. That person's probably going to get pretty frustrated and jaded, which that's an idea that like a girl wouldn't have to deal with on her end. I mean, there's other things you got to get ready, it's your time and all that, but like that's the equivalent side for the guy, in my opinion.
So, okay. Question about that. One of the questions that was sent in was, what makes you, or what would have made you swipe right on a girl's Hinge profile? Besides, like, obviously you're physically attracted to her. Like, what other characteristics or things, prompts, whatever, would make you swipe right on somebody?
All right. So this is personal to me. So when I started, first time I was on a dating app was like in my like late 20s.
You can answer this one too.
Hold on, I'm gonna get to it. There's a whole like lead up to all this. Like I was out of a relationship, and then for the first year I didn't. And that's when like Tinder, I guess, was starting, and like I looked at it, I was like, hell no, I'm not. No, like that's weird. So I wasn't on him or whatever. And I moved to San Francisco, and then after a while, I was like, you know what? I don't want to like die never having tried this. I might as well just try see what like Hinge is. So I go on it, and I'm like, this is pretty weird. And this was when I was introduced to ghosting. I'd never heard of ghosting. I didn't know what it was. I'd never been ghosted. I'd never heard of it. And I would like match with like, my rate was probably I'd match with 10 people. 5 would ghost me right off the bat. They wouldn't answer my message. Of those, the other 5, 2 or 3 would ghost me within a message or two. And then it would leave like 2 or 3 at the end. And then like 1 would ultimately be down to get drinks. The other 2 would like exchange numbers and then flake on me last minute. And none of it made sense to me. I was like, why are you like on this if you're just ghosting? Isn't the whole point is to like meet up with people? And like, it was just confusing. And so I was like, this sucks, whatever. Played around on them for a little bit, then deleted them and just had way more fun and success without them. And then I like re-downloaded them like during COVID when it was COVID. Everything was boring. But so anyway, my philosophy was always like spend as little time on them as possible. And I also, unfortunately, this is like the callousness I was talking about. Like it's a numbers game. It's like I knew for every 10 matches, maybe 1 would be a date. So I got a match with a ton of people. So I would do it as quickly as possible. I knew I couldn't get like, if I saw someone that looked dope, I couldn't like look at the profile too much. I had to just like swipe right and move on, just like forget it. And then just see what happens, in the next coming days, see what matches turn up. And that's just like the how you have to play it, unfortunately. And that's, I don't think a good thing, but that's how you survive, I guess. If you're on dating apps.
I mean, you obviously weren't saying like swiping right on every single profile. I hope not.
So I'll tell you.
He's just like, anyone will go on a date. Don't go on a date.
I'll tell you what I did.
So what I'm being told is I was the leftover. No. Anyways, back to the original question. What made you swipe right? Not on me specifically, but on women. I
know. So I was getting there. First thing, it's pretty simple. First thing, all right, looks, if you're attracted. And then you go down. And then for me, I would just look for any like deal breakers. So I would skim the prompts.
After that, we're getting rid of deal breakers, and if you're attracted, I'm saying like what actively makes you swipe right.
Okay, so attractiveness, and then I would look for deal breakers, and mine were like very religious, or like didn't want kids, or Trumpy. Those were like mine right off the bat. I'd look at those, or if like the age gap was too much, I was like, you look like you're like 18. Like no, those would be the first ones, and then I would swipe right, and then I would, because.
Anybody who passed that test got to swipe right?
I mean, those qualifications are like high. It's not just like, do you have 2 eyes and a nose? It's not like that. It's.
You were like, are you attractive? 90% of LA is. Yeah. Did you vote for Trump? 90% of LA did not. Do you want kids? Most people do. Are you 18? Most people are not.
No, are you at least like, within 6 or 7 years of me?
That's it?
Yeah, because you don't match with everybody. Like, yeah, this is the numbers game.
How?
Guys, it's not like I was swimming. It's not like I was getting like 20 matches a day. You have to cast a wide net and then see what pops up. And then like, that's just like the initial step. And then like from the matches, then who I match with, then I would like take a closer look and actually like read their prompts and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so what are you going on dates with? Like, okay, so you've matched. Which ones, like, what is the key? Like, there's got to be something that like, is it for you? Because I can tell you what it was for me, not necessarily specific to you, but in general, I am sure Brit can tell you what it is for her, like what you agree to go on a date with. Brit's like, nah.
I don't know, like nice.
I mean, like decent banter, and just like don't be a dud. Just have some personality, have some like humor to you, and then just try to set up a date pretty quickly, just to get drinks real quick, and then. That's why, that's what I'm saying. I was trying to be on the dating apps as little as possible. I didn't want to, like, inspect their profiles because I thought that was weird. I was like, I just want to see people in person first. Like, I want to, like, make this step of it, like, this as short and quick and small as possible. So that's why I was not on there, like, inspecting. My profile, I don't know if I changed it once. I put 2 minutes of thought into it and was like, all right, go. And then that's it. Never changed it again. I never really.
Make some edits to your profile. I could make some edits. There was a Snapchat photo included. I was like, God damn it.
Okay, so this is the funny thing about guys, or maybe just me. I had to look back 10 years to find 5 pictures of myself.
Yeah, I mean, guys don't know how to put together a profile. I mean, not that girls really do either, but they
but guys are so bad.
Horrible photos of themselves, and then you meet them in person, and you're like, wow, you're much better looking.
Yeah, like add 5 points to any guy's profile, detract 5 from any woman's. Like
that's fair. So, but yeah, that was my game. I didn't want to be taking it serious. I felt weird if I was, so I tried to do it like as cool as possible, and then just like set up the drinks as quickly as possible. Without, I actually kind of didn't want to know as much about them. Like I really didn't want to deep dive their profiles. I'd rather learn in person because that's more natural. It feels better. It feels like more organic that way. Then then I got like a fucking clipboard out and was like writing notes on them and stuff. That's weird.
Have like a tally marker, like, all right, one passes 5 out of 10.
Well, but I guess like that's going back to your initial statement is like that is hard if you're a guy and you have financial limitations or time constraints. Maybe you have kids, maybe you share whatever. And so I guess what I'm trying to understand is what differentiated between a girl you went on a date with and a girl you were like, not gonna ask her? Or did you ask every girl who met all those parameters on a date and then let her either ghost, not follow through? You know what I mean? Like what made a girl get a date?
Yeah, I was most definitely not asking everyone on a date. No, again, it's the numbers thing. You match with 10, you talk to 5, 3, or you can actually get close to a date with. 1 will ultimately go on a date with you. So you have to just play this process with a bunch of them, and they fall off on their own, really.
Right, but you're asking all 3 of those last 3 on a date. No. We're
getting close to that, and I'm reading the situation, seeing if I like them, if it vibes, if they seem that they pass the vibe check, if they seem cool, and then at that point, yeah.
You know what I'm anxious to kind of see? This is kind of a little bit off topic, but it's on topic, but off of it too. I've had a lot of patients recently. They're like coming in for weddings. Their daughters or sons are getting married. And I'll be like, oh, how'd they meet? And they're like, oh, they met on a dating app. Now, granted, that was 2 years, maybe 3 years ago. So still fresh around COVID. I wonder if in like the next 5 years, if all that's going to change, because I feel like what we've been talking.
Or the divorce rates skyrocket.
Either divorce rates are going to be up, or people are going to be being like, oh, we met here. I met through friends. It's going to be more organic again compared to how everyone recently is like, oh, we met on a dating app. We met on a dating app. You know what I mean?
You think it's going to go back the other way? Because I've seen the numbers. They're like exponential.
I think people are starting to get back into the groove of like walking up and saying hello and like getting out of that like shell of feeling like behind a screen. I hope. I mean, I feel like that's so much more organic. And I mean, coming from someone who does not sell themselves on a dating app well at all, because I hate small talk. So like, I think it's nice whenever you actually can see someone in person and like chit chat. That's how you can see their personality more, you know?
And I agree. That's the goal. That's why I didn't want to be on dating apps in the first place. That's why I caved after a while.
Guys do immediately say, let's just go grab coffee or let's go get a drink. Because then you can immediately just meet with them.
No, I agree. Okay, so the other question I got, I got to get through some of these questions. Mm-hmm. If a girl's at a bar and she sees a guy she's interested in, what is the best way for her to shoot her shot with that guy without coming across as desperate, without coming across as too much, without waiting and just seeing if maybe he turns and looks at her? Like, in your opinion, if you were at a bar, what would be comfortable for you for a girl to shoot her shot?
I mean, it's probably not that different for men approaching women, but like literally if a girl goes up, stands like next to the guy, just makes a joke, just some kind of humor. Make a joke. I wouldn't say make fun of them, because some guys are a little more touchy about that, because like, guys, hold on, but I'm serious though, guys like,
y'all got emotions? What?
No, but they fear rejection over anything. And so like that's why guys don't approach women. They fear rejection. Sucks. It's like guys eat shit all the time, and so like they don't like rejection. So if you're like pre-rejecting them, if you're going up to them and just making fun of them or something, some of them might like recoil and not like that. But like friendly, like you gotta have some tact and some taste.
What's an example?
Oof. I'm gonna have to come back to that.
Okay, fair enough.
But like, make a joke about something, and that's it. Like, the guy will probably laugh, and then the ice will be broken, and then the ball will be in his court, and he'll take it from there.
Highly anticipated question. I know you've been prepping for this for a long time, so just give me your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the best quarterback fit for the Saints?
Good question. I thought you'd never ask. Whoever submitted this question, I've thought about this last 2 days. So Derek Carr kind of retired recently out of nowhere, which really put the Saints in a bad spot. I had to look up who their quarterbacks were. It's horrible. They have the worst quarterback room in the league. They're going to be really bad this year. They should have drafted Jackson Dart. He's in their backyard, went to Ole Miss. He would have been electric. He would have been fun. But there's a silver lining here. They're going to tank this year. They're going to be bad. They're going to be the worst team. They're going to get the number 1 pick. They're going to pick the hometown kid, the legacy, Arch Manning, with the number 1 pick in the 2026 draft, and they're going to be sick.
When is the draft?
Good question. It's in April of next year. We just had the
you never asked. Let me tell you.
We just had this year's draft. We got 11 months till the next draft. But I just solved all their problems, so you're welcome, whoever submitted that.
Okay, wait. Do you want to know who submitted this? Because it's a funny story. So this guy, I used to live in D.C., right? When I was a teacher, I was in D.C., and I lived in Petworth, which was like the hood of D.C. And I lived with my college best friend, and we lived in a basement apartment. And we were the only 2 white girls on the block. And I used to take a bus up to the school that I taught in, and she used to take a bus down to this like museum she did something in, because we were in DC and there are a lot of museums. And we were like 22, 23. And we would come home, and there was this tall, and it's only relevant because of where we lived, this tall black man. He was like 6'4", 6'5" black man who was like outside of our apartment, very fit, whatever. And they lived, well, we figured out, we put together that he lived in like, our building was like a house, and we lived in the basement. They lived in the first floor, and then there was somebody else who lived in the second floor. And we figured out he lived in the first floor, I think. I don't even remember who he lived with. He had roommates, whatever. Anyways, we figured out they lived there. There were homeless people that would sit on our porch and charge their phones because we had an outlet there. And he would like kind of scurry them away or whatever. Long story short is we never had a conversation, what have you. We moved out of this apartment after like 8 months, and we had to repaint all the walls because we'd painted all of them. And somehow he found out that we had to do this, and he came down and helped us repaint all the walls in the entire apartment white with primer. Then like maybe a week later, I ran the DC Marathon, and he left this bag of like electrolytes on our apartment door for me with this note being like, hope the marathon went well. I still have the note. Anyways, we never hung out besides those 2 instances. He followed me on Instagram. This was like fucking 15 years ago or whenever, 12 years ago. He subsequently has become a TV host. He hosts like the Seattle news. I think he lives in Seattle. Anyways, he's like on the news now. He's like one of their main news anchors. But he still every now and again, like responds to my stories. And he's obsessed with you. And he's always like, who is this man? Yada, yada. And I'm like, oh, you're the guy who lived in the apartment above me 13 years ago. But he has like a wife and 2 kids and like submits questions every now and again. Anyways, lovely. His name's Aaron. He's great. He probably played football back in the day. I don't know. He's a nice guy.
I like that guy. I hope he agrees with me.
I got a question for you. How do you feel about girls and social media? And what do you think, like, how do you feel about Eve having such a big following and having such a huge TikTok presence? Like, did that ever bother you or cross your mind? Or do you feel like you were like, you loved, like, that's something that you like embraced and loved?
Well, TikTok, I don't have, I'm not on, and I don't know how to use. And well, I am
TikTok now, baby.
Excuse me, I have a profile, but I'm not allowed to access it and don't know how to access it. So TikTok, I didn't care. Instagram, no, I mean, like I trust Eve, so that was never an issue. It was weird in the beginning, obviously. And so now,
it was prior to us dating, I feel like for you.
Yeah, that went, yeah. And now I don't care. Like I was on the verge of deleting Instagram myself anyway before, so I like am not on it. I don't care. My last post was from June 2020. I post maybe one story a month.
Never posted me. It's fine.
I post maybe one story a month where I'm like day drinking and I go whoa, and I go like a quick panorama, and then that's about it from me.
With the sound effect, whoa.
Now we expect to see that every month.
I know. I think I'm due.
Like that, like clockwork, please.
Yeah. So that's my Instagram presence, and so for me, I'm just like, that's not real life. That's something else people do, and So I detached myself from it. I feel like if I was active on Instagram, it'd be way harder because I'd have to like have a presence and like post and like track stuff.
Not like niche, you could just change your Instagram name to Whoa, and that could be like your new thing. Is every single weekend that's what you post.
I have to call a little bit of bullshit because I made his first post on his TikTok yesterday, and he was very excited about how well it did.
Like what? Hey, views?
Oh, wait for it.
No, we're more. No, I like this. I like that I don't have to do it. If someone else does it for me, I'm cool.
He's posted one TikTok and it has 132,000 views.
Is that a lot? I'm a TikTok weapon. I told you that.
One.
Maybe it's
one TikTok.
Girls in bikinis throwing footballs.
Like one TikTok and this man has 132,000. Mind you, I made the TikTok and I posted it on his account, but like he was like, is that a lot? I don't know. And I was like, literally, fuck you. And he was like, when am I going to get my check? Like, when do I get paid? And I was
I get the royalties from it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Glenn. I was like, let's wait till you get some followers. Like, you just had the one decent video. Let's pump the brakes, bro.
Yeah, like I'm Tom Cruise and George Clooney, and you're the person filming me. You know, I'm the talent. You got to pay the talent.
Okay, on that note, not on that note, completely digress, but we have a couple questions for you, a couple like rapid fire questions. I don't want you to think too much about it. These are just girly pop questions. Okay. How much do you think a manicure cost?
$60.
Not bad. Close.
Not bad. What's a manicure pedicure combo?
$110.
Oh.
Ooh.
You have a sister?
Yeah.
I do, but that's not. I do, but I'm completely guessing here.
How often do you think a girl gets her hair highlighted?
Every 3 months. Oh, you thought you were going to stump me?
We don't.
Is that a lot? Yeah.
We will stump you. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Help me out, Brit.
How often do you think, how often do girls have to, like, when they're on their period, have to, like, change their tampons?
Ooh, I will ask this question,
this one.
but I forgot the answer. I think I guessed once every 2 hours.
Do you think...
Wait, what's
I think it depends on the girl.
Depends on the girl, but not 2 hours. 2 hours is a little frequent. We're going
sometimes I get stuck and it's, every couple of days.
Okay, you know what? That wasn't my fault. I forgot it was up there. I forgot it was up there. Not my fault. Not targeted, not my fault. Do you
That's when they fell in love, boys and girls.
He was like, yeah, let me get in that. Glenn hates me right now. It's fine. How often do you think a girl goes for a facial if she was going for them regularly?
Once a week.
I wish.
You said regularly.
Pay for that. How often?
Yeah.
How much does Botox cost?
Ooh.
I think I know this one.
I don't think you do.
$3,000?
Oh, I wish.
Well, it depends what you're doing.
No, I don't think it is. Not 3,000, Brit.
No.
Oh, you wish. Yeah, because then you'd make commissions off of it. I was like, what?
No, not $3,000. Probably like average, I would say 600 to 900 on every.
Different kinds. I'm sure there's a $3,000 version.
No, that's like Botox plus filler plus like some other shit. Like,
that's what I meant. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I meant the whole package, the combo meal.
Okay, the combo meal.
Yeah.
So I'm in special next combo meal.
The Glenn combo.
Do you want the combo? Do you want the single or the combo?
The popular Brittany combo.
Yeah.
How often do you think a girl has to go get lasered to get her hair removed?
Once a month for laser.
For how long?
Wait, hold on. I'm. What do you mean how long?
I'm trying to laser the hair off on my vagina, my bikini line.
Okay.
How often am I going? How long am I going for appointments? And how much am I paying?
Once a month, $200.
A session or total?
A session, 5 sessions.
Close.
Like 9 to 12 sessions. Maybe like 400 a session. Maybe like once every 6 to 8 weeks. But same, but different.
Pretty close.
Same but different. How often do you feel like, how much do you think like girls like makeup cost that they have to get maybe like every couple of months? Like what do you think that runs them when they have to like restock everything?
Well, wait. Let's break this down. What do you think like a blush cost? Like just a blush.
I don't know how to blush it.
When I make my cheeks pink.
Well, I mean, how many uses? Are we talking like a
compact of it? Like I have in my makeup bag. All of us have in our makeup bag.
A unit of blush?
Yeah, no, not a unit. Like the whole compact of it. How much do you think that cost?
$49.99.
Depends on the blush, but close. You're doing pretty well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
expensive do you think it is being a damn woman? That's the end-all be-all question.
Expensive. Too expensive.
On that note, let's go get a drink.
Yes, please. We love you, Glenny.
We love you.
We're not hanging up, so don't go anywhere. We're just stopping the podcast. We love
No
all
more questions?
We're